Well, good morning, my Teaser King family. How is everybody today? I hope you are well. Um, I am doing well. What's today? Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it is. Let's check the date. It is Wednesday. I always get that confused. Um, we're gonna problem solve comex today. Because I'm sure everybody, including me, is having angst over it, even though we know we're right. We were like, what the fuck is going on here? I woke up to a 39.80 gold. Now, fortunately, it's over. It's back into the 4,000s. And only worried because I have to sell an ounce. And I sold, uh, it always have. I couldn't have been at 5,000 when I was ready to sell the ounce. So I'm living off of Social Security and then a few hundred a month. And when I need to buy stuff, I use my credit cards, which I probably won't have to pay back because there won't be any money at that time. It'll get converted to the USD number 2 or something else, and that's what we'll owe. And anyway, so let's problem solve that. So let's look at, we're going to check our gold, then we're going to check baseball, and then we'll get into this. All right. So as of right now, 1043, we're back to 4017. So this was 4100. And then Europe gets it, and then this late draw at about 9 a.m. and it knocks it down from 40.53 to 39.60. Again, the bullshit drop. And now we're coming back to 40.17. And I think the key is to stay over 4,000. And again, this is a paper price. Silver, 58.82. This is the paper price, not a physical. We are concerned about physical gold and silver, right? We have the actual ounces of gold. We have the actual ounces of silver. So in our world, that is what we're focused on. And this is paper. This is options. And we know that this is paper. We know that this isn't real. This is not the physical price. And so we kind of let it go. I don't know what that was, a spam. So we kind of let it go and we go, well, now it's nice when we see it at 5,000 and we see silver at 100, even though they're paper, and it's nice that we see that. But even that isn't the real price of gold and silver, of physical gold and silver. And the biggest thing is 200,000 tons of gold that's all you can have in the physical world, and yet in the paper world 4.3 million tons. So there's 4.1 million tons of bullshit paper that doesn't exist, but yet they're pricing it as if it does. Oh, it's 100-to-1 leverage. Oh, you got 100 ounces, that's 10,000 or whatever 100 is. And so that's what they're looking at. Now, why would we keep the price down? And I really don't want to get too much into it now, but that's really the key. Why are they keeping the price down? My only answer is so people can buy it, as if the stakes were in an option at $2. All right. So my biggest thing is don't be concerned over this. This is paper. This is 4.3 trillion tons versus only 200,000. We have BRICS buying the shit out of it. China, as Pat says when he comes in from Singapore and he says, hey, there's lines, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours at the whole gold. There's a whole gold district with probably 50, 60 stores, and they're all 8 hours of wait. So the smart move is to move it. And we know what's happening. We know the dollar is being printed to death. So it has no value. So even if you're like questioning, oh my God, gold's going down, the real point is, would you rather be in dollars that are worthless, that they print every month? So your first answer is, even if we don't know anything about gold and we look at the price and we're, oh my God, it's going down. What's your alternative? Being dollars that are worthless? I mean, they just don't show you that the dollar, the $100 bill is now worth $1 or maybe 50 cents. They're not showing you the dollar going collapsing. They're only showing you the gold dropping. Or how about if you're in Bitcoin, 120,000, it's 61. I saw this morning. Everybody's in stocks. Does that make sense? Is the shoe shine boy going to tell you to buy AI? So keep all that in mind. You're basically, what you're doing is basically you're in the best spot. Physical gold and silver, it's limited. It can't be inflated, which means printed, so it loses value. That can't happen. So if you understand that, you know the dollar's worthless and you know gold can't be printed, so it can't lose value. And this is manipulated by the banks, which we know. Now, in 1974, it made sense. It doesn't make sense in 2026. They're manipulating the price of gold. All it's really doing, if you really think about it, it's letting China and Russia and BRICS buy gold cheap. Why do they want to do that? I don't know. The other choice is, well, they want to keep the price down so China and Russia aren't as strong as they appear. Well, China's got 80,000 tons. 4,000 or 4,100, I don't think really matters. So once we get past this 10 o'clock, at least we're at 4,000 and going up. Silver's back into the 59s, which is, it was 88 2 weeks ago, right? So again, don't worry about these numbers. There's no other choice you have. You can play stocks. I heard SpaceX, they were tanking today because that's just a Ponzi scheme. AI doesn't generate any value for the company. It's like having Excel. You have Excel now. Great. It was good for me. It made things easier for me, but it didn't help the company make any money. Oh, I could do more work. Maybe you cut ahead because you only needed me instead of two people if it was manual, but that's it. It didn't keep the costs down, and I was more productive, but it didn't help sales. So AI is not all that. It's not going to help the companies. Yeah, they'll get rid of a few people until they realize they're fucked and they're not going to be able. All it does is this, it's a search engine base. It's like Google. Oh, what was the gold price from 1990 to today? And Google will list you. You don't need AI for that. Google will list it. All they're doing is just pulling data, and that's it. So anyway, we'll get back to this. But we're at 40.13, so at least we are back over 39. It's a psychological thing. If we're in 38, 37, it could go down. But when it hits, when it stays at 4,000, you feel a lot better about it. All right, let's look at baseball yesterday. I know I had 3 winners, and that's all I looked at, so I don't know what happened. Houston 9, Toronto 7, and I didn't play this game. But what do we take out of it? They're both hitting. Okay, good. All right. Again, you can't hit a good pitcher. You can hit a bad one. Seattle 3, Pitt 2. I had Pitt over 8.5 as I normally play them. There wasn't really great pitching. It wasn't Scanes or anything. So it will warn me for today how to play it. We had KC 12, Tampa 5. Tampa's all over the place. They haven't hit, and now 12-5 game, but I leave it alone because it was bullpen day. The Yankees 4, Detroit 3. I have the game under 8, and it ends. Yankees win 4-3. It was 4-3 in like the 6th inning, and I'm dying because I'm under 8, and I'm going, oh my God. And the way that they hit, and then it ended 4-3. So I was like, yes. So that's nice when it's not over until it's over, right? We're under 8, they're at 7, but until it goes to 9, we didn't lose, and it never got there. So the Yanks get the 4-3 win. And which I thought you had Casey Mize, who's a good pitcher, doesn't give up a lot of runs, and I think it was Rodin, who's a good pitcher, and that's what you got. So you didn't get. That's where you got the under from, two good pitchers. Miami 6, Texas 4, and I don't play this game. Miami can hit. Texas has 7 hitters that once in a while actually score runs. So 6-4 Miami. Philadelphia beats Washington 14-9. We have Philadelphia strong, and they were losing like 3-1 or 3-2 or 5-2, and then I see the final 14-9. So they probably got a big 8th or 9th inning. The game was in Washington, so there you go. Philly, very hard to bet against. They score a lot of runs normally, unless they're facing Mizorowski or Scanes or somebody like that. The free play, the Cubs and the Mets, I gave you over 8.5, and they win 9-6. The Cubs win 9-6. We do go way over 8.5, and I think that was a 3-unit play. So I'm most happy when the free pick wins for you guys. I'm betting all these. Milwaukee 2, Cincinnati 0. I have Milwaukee over 9. Cincinnati's not hitting, and Milwaukee, with all those hitters, these were not aces. Obviously, if I went over 9.5, so Milwaukee did win, but I didn't play. I played the over. I thought that would be there. The White Sox 2, Cleveland 1. I don't play this game. Pretty low scoring, but Cleveland plays a lot of under games. They got a good bullpen. They got good defense. And they got a lot of 2.0 ERA pitchers in their bullpen, so they don't give up this 7-8 run inning usually. So we'll note that 2-1, and we'll see what we do with today's game. The Dodgers 12, Minnesota 3, and I didn't play this game, which is unusual. I normally play the Dodgers over, so I'm a little surprised I didn't. The total was 9, so LA wins 12-3. LA will spank you if you get a bad pitcher. Arizona 4, St. Louis 3. That's a winner. I have Arizona 4-3. That game went. Boston, Colorado. I have Boston, but I don't bet it. They win 5-2. I didn't know what to do in Colorado, and Boston gets the win. California 5, Baltimore 1. I got over 9 here, so I lose it as Baltimore doesn't hit yesterday. 5-1 Colorado. We got Atlanta and San Diego. San Diego 7-6 over Atlanta. We have Atlanta over 8.5. That's a W. 7-6. 2 bad pitchers. That's what we expect. So the expected expectations to reality in this case were right on. In our last game, we have Oakland and over, and the Niners win 3-1, and we lose this one. So we go 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, 6-3, 6-4. Another positive day. We lose 2 units, even, +2, +5, +3, +5, +7, +5. +7, +5. So 5-unit day. And you can look at me 2 different ways. Well, he picks a lot of games, but at the end of the day, on Monday, +6. No, this was Sunday, the 21st. Yeah. Sunday, +6 units. Yesterday, even. Or Monday, even. Yesterday, +5 units. And that's how you got to. So at the end of the day, you're counting, did we make money or lose money? And just because it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plays, but we win 6 and lose 4, then that's the key point of it. So it's about winning. Now, I don't know what happened in the Niner. Let's take a look at this Niner Oakland. I mean, they can hit. Oakland always hits. Chevalier for Oakland, 4 innings, gave up 6 runs and 2 hits, 4.88 ERA, or 6 hits and 2 runs. And then Crook comes in with a 0 ERA, gives up nothing. Barnett with a 1.32 gives up one, and then Suarez with a 4.37 gives up no runs. So the bullpen didn't give up any runs for 4 innings, and you had 4 innings from Chevalier, but he pitched he pitched 4 innings, gave up 2 runs. The 49ers, Robbie Ray, who's been hot, and that was probably the play because I think he's won his last 4 or 5. 3.70 ERA, pitches 8 innings, gives up 2 hits and a run. See, that's smart. He pitched 102 pitches, and I'm glad to see these guys pitching. They should be pitching 110 to 120 pitches minimum, these starters, because you can't use them for 5 days. Oh, what's another inning? We watched Jack Morris pitch 10 innings in the World Series for Minnesota. We watched Mickey Lolitz on 2 days rest pitch a complete game against the Cardinals, 68 World Series. We watched Koufax in the 65 World Series pitch a complete game. So it's not like this, did he die? No. Lolitz, he pitched the next year. He pitched in game 5, I believe, in the 68 World Series. Came back 2 days later and pitched game 7. 2 days rest. He was fine. He didn't need surgery or anything. So this is the problem. You lose the guy now for 5 days. And he's pitching you a 2-hit shutout, 1 run, 8 innings. What the fuck? What are you doing here, fellas? So I got to start another column. And that's what's going on. So let's take a look at today's games. One quick note, I'm living in some communist apartment complex. So I parked my car in the free spots. I have a covered one, but I'd rather not walk. My foot's hurting with the gout. I'd rather not walk as far. Although it's feeling better today, my foot. So I park and I just move in, and there's 5, 6 free spots, and so I just park closest to the door. And I guess I didn't park it perfectly in the spot. I guess I'm like this far on the line, and somebody complains. So they call. I said, well, okay, I'll be more careful. And it strains the things people worry about, right? The economy's collapsing. We're at war with Iran. Gas prices are going up. How much gold and silver do they own? And they're worried that I'm parked 6 inches over on a parking spot. That there's still plenty of room for whoever to park in the spot. And the night before, somebody parked in the middle of 2 spots. So you couldn't park. Right? Now, I didn't complain. I just said, well, we'll see. But since I'm active more during the day, I usually come home and there's spots. I think this was on a Sunday or something. So there was, I think it was Father's Day. So there's probably people here visiting. But this is what people have to worry about. Is that? What are they doing? I mean, that's the point. What are they worried about? Oh, he was 2 inches over on his spot. And these are socialists, liberals who are concerned about me parking and missing the whole point of having gold and silver and not money, and the war in Iran and the high oil gas prices that we're about to have. And that's what they worry about. So again, you just laugh. I said, okay, I'll be more careful parking. I'll park in the end spot, which then if I'm over on the grass, who cares? But it's a little bigger spot. I'll just park there. I don't care. As long as I have a spot and I can walk into my apartment, then go fuck off. This is what you're worried about. I did call. There's a light that's been out, flashing red, and everybody keeps stopping at it, even though it's a really dead intersection. There's like a subdivision kind of, and then there's this building, this company, but you don't see a lot of people coming and going. So it's really a stupid light. And everybody's stopping at the red light and there's nobody there. I just go right through it. I look, nobody's coming. I don't stop. I just go. it's a flashing red, but it's really not a stop sign. It's not intended to. So I tried calling to say, hey, can you reset the light? Obviously, it's such a small light, nobody knows it needs to be reset. So that I worry about. All right. So let's take a quick look at Oakland's hitting. They have a 280 hitter lead off, and then they go to a 230 second baseman after. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and 1, 6 and 1, 6 and 2, 6 and 3. So they got 6 good hitters, and they got a whopping 1 run on Robbie Ray, who is a lefty. The Niners have 1 hitter, 2 hitters, 3 guys hitting 353, 3 hitters, 4, 5, 5 and 1. They got 6 hitters too. So how are we getting a 2-1 game and each team's got 5, 6 hitters on it? That's the problem, right? That's what you're digging into. All right. So today, 6/24. And then we'll dive into problem solving gold. 6/24. We start off with Texas at Miami. We got Jacob deGrom 3.62 against E. Perez 4.65. Texas is 111 favored and 7.5 total. But is DeGrom or DeGrom not DeGrom anymore? God, he's 38 years old. He was just on the Mets, wasn't he? 38. Holy fuck. All right. He's won 3 out of his last 4, or they've won. His last 5. Let's go his last 6. 3 innings, 6 runs. 6 innings, 2 runs. 5 innings, shutout. 6 innings, shutout. 6 innings, 2 runs. 6 innings, 6 runs. Which DeGrom are we getting? And, he shut out Cleveland and St. Louis 6 innings. He gave up 6 runs to San Diego, of all teams. And he gave up 6 runs to California. So it doesn't make the teams he's given up 6 runs aren't the big hitting teams, like a Boston, like a Philly, Yankees, the Dodgers. The Yankees, he gave up 1 run and then 6 runs to them. And that was at 9-7. They did win the San Diego game, even though he gave up 6 runs and 6 innings and 106 pitches. So what do we do with this guy? God, he was on the Mets in 2014, and he had these 2 ERAs. He had a 1.7 ERA in 2018, a 1.08 ERA in 2021, a 1.69 in 3 games in 2024, 2.97 in 2025, and then 2026, 3.59. So, I don't know. I'm cross thinking. Why am I saying she? So what are we going to get from him? Again, his ERA is 3.62. So we assume 3 runs. He could shut you out. You could get 6. Is Miami capable of that? And then we got Yuri Perez from the Dominican Republic. Now he's lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's 1-6. One in 6 his last 7, so we could bet it. He did beat the Mets 2-1. It's like, we'll get better. We'll play the Mets. His last 5 innings, 5 runs, 6 innings, 3 runs, 5 innings, 5 runs, 6 innings, 1 run, 4 innings, shutout. 73 pitches in 4 innings. So he had that stretch. He gave up 4 runs, 2 runs, 5 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs, and then lately 1-0. The Mets, he gives up 1 run. They win 2-1. In Toronto, he shuts them out. And this is where it gets really difficult because, for 5 games, he pitches terrible. And then all of a sudden, the last 2, and Texas can hit. They got 7 hitters in Miami. So Perez has a 4.65 ERA, but the last 2 he's pitched really well. DeGrom, capable of shutting you out anytime or giving up 5 runs. And this is what's difficult. So we're going to have to pass on this. This is a 12-10 game. We're going to have to pass because it really it's really hard to, how much risk do we want to take? These guys could throw shutouts and could give up 10 runs. The bad Texas can bat. Texas is favored 111, but it's because of DeGrom. And what do you do with it? Perez 4.65. Theoretically, I do probably would go over because it is 7.5. But again, DeGrom can shut you down. In Miami, this guy can throw, and you could end up with a 5 or a 6 run game. So I don't want to bet over just because it's 7.5 because it is DeGrom. So this is not a good place. 110. All right. We got the Cubs at the Mets again. We got the Mets minus 105, 8.5. We got Assad against McLean. Assad, Javier Masad from Mexico with a 4 ERA. And he's won 5 out of his last 6, so he's hot. But he doesn't go a lot. This is, he was a bullpenner, but now the last 3 weren't. 6 innings shutout, 6 innings shutout, 5 innings, 2 runs, 2 innings, 1 run, 3 innings shutout, and that was 41 pitches. So he'd gone 70 pitches, gave up 6 runs. Then he went to the bullpen for an inning, and then he's back on the mound. He does not give up a lot of runs. He had 1 bad game. I think it was against the Phillies. And McLean, Nolan McLean, related to John McLean, no doubt, from New York. He's definitely a starter. 5 games, 3 innings, 7 runs, 5 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 1 run, 4 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, 1 run. Then he had a 9-run game before that. So he gives up 9 to Washington and 7 to Cincinnati. And then it's 1-1, 2-1 to Miami, San Diego, Atlanta, and Cincinnati. So he loses 7-2 to Cincinnati, then beats them 9-1. So I would like to go over in this game, but I don't see how I can. They're both pitching pretty well. We'll take the over yesterday, but I'm not going to free pick this over. I wanted to. I saw that, but when you look into the pitchers, they're both, the last 3 or 4 starts are good. Assad's pretty good. I'm just going to watch this game. Mets are 105, 8.5. I could easily go under here and hopefully get them pitching well. And I really have no way of picking the Cubs or the Mets in this game. Maybe a small little, I like the Cubs and probably an under, but I don't like it that much. Cleveland goes to the White Sox. We saw a 2-1 game yesterday. Shocking. Cleveland does play under games. Cleveland minus 110, 8.5. Tanner Bibby. We've been trying to figure him out for 5 years. The Tanner. He's 3-3 his last 6. His last 6 games, 8 innings, 1 run, 3 innings, 7 runs, 6 innings, 3 runs, 8 innings shutout, 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 4 runs. Again, you got a 0-1-2, and then you get a 7-3-4. Last game, they lost to Houston 9-3. He did beat Detroit 3-2. Gave up 7 runs to Washington. So I don't know. Another tough game. Murphy for the White Sox. He is a reliever, I believe. Yeah, a bunch of 1s. And his ERA is actually 5.27. So this guy is a pig. Murphy. Bibby's been inconsistent. Hard to go over on a Cleveland game. Murphy will pitch 1 inning, maybe 2. And then who are we getting? That's the problem. Who's that starter pitching in the 2nd inning? That's what we want to bet on him, but we can't. We got Murphy, who's he's not going to give up 5 runs. I mean, he'll pitch the first inning and that'll be it. And then Bibby, who's okay. Cleveland, good hitting team. The White Sox can hit. It's like an over against an under in football. And you just, what are you froze? Well, I can't go over. You end up going under because of the defense. Again, I got to pass. This is getting killed. Okay, here we go. Here's your free play. We've got the Ranger, Boston 163 and 11 to Colorado. We got the Ranger going 296. It was the upper 3, so he's coming on, and he's going against Freeland, our favorite. Freeland for Colorado. Freeland. He's I got him 1-9 the last 10. We'll just check it out. Kyle Freeland. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 2-8 now. He won. I think he beat Pittsburgh. Well, they beat Pittsburgh 4-3. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 81 pitches, no walks. Usually he doesn't walk a lot. He's had some bad games. 7.36 ERA, and it's not like, did he get better? Last 5 games, 8 runs, 6 runs, 3 runs, 6 runs, and he still gave up 2 runs. So here's your free play. Take Boston. We're going to go 3 units on this. You got the Ranger against Freeland. Ranger's been pitching very well, and Freeland stinks. Let's see if Ranger has any type of streaks. Not really. He's won 3 out of his last 4, but nothing to write home about. So that's what we look at. So you can see I can't find a game. I don't force it. And then I find a ace going against the 5th pitcher, and that's what we look for. And Freeland with the 7.36. So he's going to give up runs to Boston. Ranger will be tough on Colorado, especially they have a lot of left-handed hitters, and Ranger's a lefty. And that's fun with baseball now. You'd like to actually see what Ranger Suarez looks like throwing, or Mizorowski, or Harrison, or the guy on Cincinnati, or Scanes. Never seen Scanes pitch before. But with this stupid thing where it's got to be on Amazon Prime or Peacock or one of these bullshit stations, you don't see it, and that's what hurts it. It's almost like the 60s. In the 60s, growing up, right? So Detroit won in 68, and that was the first time you saw Bob Gibson. Was 1968 World Series. They were never on TV. That's why the All-Star games were so good. It was the first chance to see Clemente and Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan and Pete Rose and Frank Robinson, if it's in the 60s, and Brooks Robinson you could see. So when Detroit played him, you would see, but you never saw the National League. You never saw Clemente play. And then the first time you had Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, you never see him play. And then you finally see him. And that's what we're going through now. You never see Mizorowski, except for that little clip I showed you. You don't even know what he looks like. And the same thing with like Scanes. I have no idea what he looks like, or, in uniform pitching. And it's very frustrating and very stupid. And it hurts the sport when you should be on. That's why you're on TV. That's why I'm on YouTube, so you can see me and hear me, as opposed to just me doing a 900 number or something like that. All right. Baltimore against California. We got California 119, 9.5. We got Gibson, a 6 ERA for Baltimore against Soriano, who's their good pitcher, with the 3.03. This game was an under yesterday, which was surprising. Trey Gibson is he's lost 5 out of 6. He is a starter. So the 6 games, 4 innings, 3 runs, 2 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 1 run, 4 innings, 3 runs, 4 innings, 6 runs, 5 innings, 3. So he gives up runs. Soriano and Soriano, we know. Let's see if he's on a streak. He lost 4 in a row, then won 2, and then they lost to Oakland, and that's the game they blew the 6-run lead in the 7th inning. Soriano, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs, 4 innings, 3 runs, 6 innings, 5 runs, 5 innings shutout, 5 innings, 4 runs. So, he had 1 shutout, 1 run, 1 2, a couple of 3s, and then 4 and 5. Oakland, he gave up 4, and the Dodgers, he gave up 5 are understandable. 3 to Colorado, 3 to Detroit. So he's good, but he gives up runs. The other guy's not very good. So Soriano 303. Gibson's just bad. Do we want to go over? Well, we don't, because they didn't get over 9, and they didn't have the quality of pitching as good as a Soriano. So can't go over there. Could be an over, but I'm not, all I know is Gibson kind of sucks. So we're betting against sucks. The Yankees and Detroit. It's in Detroit. They're a 134 favorite. 7.5 is the total. You got Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, who's lost his last 4, but won the 2 before. And he gives up 7 innings shutout, 6 innings 5, 6 innings 5, 4 innings 6, 6 innings 1. And that was against the White Sox, and they lost 5-1. So he gives up 1 run in 6 innings, they lose 5-1. 6-5-5, that was against Toronto, Boston, and Oakland, and they are all losers. Will Detroit, well, he's a lefty, so you get the weaker Detroit lineup against Skubal, who's the crybaby. He's lost 2, and then he won the last one. His ERA's in the 3s. He's not the same pitcher. The elbow obviously is bothering him. He's 4 innings, 3 runs, and 5 innings, 3 runs. My connection stable. They're reconnecting. Okay. I guess I'm reconnected. All right. So his last in June, 4 innings, 3 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs after his return. So he's not all that. He's good. The Yankees, a lefty. Does that affect the Yankees? Basically, he had 2 good years, but he's such a crybaby that it really. Oh, I got to get out of the game in the championship game. What are you doing? Game 5 of a 5-game series, and you're tied, and you ask to get out. Yeah, I can't handle that. That's just a crybaby. So it's not necessarily an under, although the Yankees have Goldschmidt. Weathers, you do hit Weathers, but it's a lefty, and the Tigers' right-handed lineup sucks. I don't know what to do with this. This is not Skubal's is the 3.06 ERA, not a 1.06 ERA. I don't know. It was a 7 yesterday. It's a tough pill. Skubal probably goes 5 innings. Then he'll cry. Maybe he'll go 5. The Yankees, it's no big deal. They played better pitchers than this guy. He's not all that good, and especially now with the injury. It's like Hutchinson on the Lions. He breaks his leg, and everybody think, well, just a broken leg, it'll heal. That's psychology. He's worried about breaking his leg again and the conditioning, and he's lost a step or 2. He's not the same player, and Skubal has had injuries before and now gets another one, and he's more worried about getting hurt than he is about pitching. He's more worried about money than he is about winning. He's a loser, so it's really hard because he's got really no passion and really no drive to succeed. He's just out there for the money, and that's not a good player. Weathers 4.16. This looks like an over, except they're left-handed pitchers, so that you're not getting a good Tiger lineup. So it's almost a Weathers play, but you can't really do that. So I think I'm going to have to watch this one and let it go. Seattle at Pitt. We got Pitt minus 112 and 8. We got Ric Flair, Seattle 394 against Ashcraft 320 for Pittsburgh. Ric Flair's been pitching bad, but I think getting better. He won, lost 2, won, so he's all over. His last 5, 4 innings, 4 runs, 7 innings shutout, 6 innings, 5 runs, 5 innings, 7 runs, and 7 innings shutout. So we're getting a lot of the, not the same. I'm losing internet again. What the fuck's going on? I lost it yesterday. Well, that's why I was on late. I didn't have internet. So I went to the Gold Store in the pool early. Ashcraft, a 3-2 for Pittsburgh. And let's see what he's all about. He's won 4 out of his last 6. So he won 3 in a row, lost 2, and then 1 against Oakland. His last 6, 7 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 2 runs. Then a 5 innings, 6 run, 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs. So he had 5 good games, 6 runs against Atlanta. It's funny the teams Washington, Atlanta, who really aren't great hitting teams. And then now, even though he went 5 innings and gave up 2 runs, they lost to Miami 8-3, and he beat Oakland 12-4, giving up 2 runs. So pretty good. Again, most of the time he's good, can hit. Ric Flair can shut you down. This was an under yesterday. I went over 8.5 and lost. So let's see. Rick, he wins 5-1. They lose 7-3. They lose 7-5. They win 3-0. So he does give up runs. And then there's that one game, the last game, 7 innings shutout. He goes 89 pitches. And that was at home to Baltimore. Let's see. He gave up 7 runs at Baltimore. He gave up 5 runs at Detroit. Shutout at Seattle. And at Kansas City, he gave up. So he looks like he's better at home. At home against Chicago, shutout. So he shuts you out at home. Where's this game at? Pittsburgh. Ashcraft. Ashcraft gives up runs, doesn't he? Yeah, 1-1-2, 6-2-2. It's really not. I know Pitt scores a lot, but it's really, I don't know that it's an over game. So again, this is another game I'm puzzled by. So we will watch this one. KC at Tampa. We got Tampa minus 142, 7.5. Cameron 420. Kansas City. Jax 270, but Jax is not very good. Let's see. Well, this Cameron lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. 1 lost again. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 2-7. Okay, I got him up here. So Cameron for KC's 2-7. His last 6 innings shutout, 5 innings, 2 runs, 7 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 1 run, 4 innings, 4 runs, 5 innings, 4 runs. And those were against St. Louis and Houston. I don't know what to do with that. And Jax is a bullpen guy who's lost 4 in a row and then 1. So he's 1-4. And he's pretty much a regular. His last 6, 5 innings, 1 run, 2 innings, 3 runs, 4 innings, 6 runs, 5 innings shutout, 5 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 2 runs. So he had one bad game, and that was against the Tigers. Amazing. The rest are 0, 1s, and 2s. It's amazing how the Tigers hit these guys that they shouldn't hit, and then they lose to these other pitchers that they should beat. So we got a total of 7.5. Why do I feel this is an over game? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. See, yesterday I found 9, 10 games. Today I'm struggling to find a couple. Philadelphia, Washington. Philadelphia minus 127, 9.5 games at Washington. We got Aaron Nola against Miles McCullough. Aaron Nola. He won in a row and then he lost. He's won 7-2. So Nola's been pitching pretty well. And let's go into the numbers. Last 6, 5 innings, 4 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 2 runs, 4 innings, 5 runs, 4 innings, 3 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs. So he is giving up the runnage. And then we got Miles McCullough with a big ERA. His ERA is 5.47. Let's see. His last 6, 5 innings shutout, 3 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 6, 4 innings shutout, 7 innings shutout, and 6 innings, 5 runs. So you look at the 3 2/3 was only he gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. Then 6. Then he had a 4-inning shutout, a 7-inning shutout, and then 6 innings, 5 runs. The shutout was against Seattle at home. They win 10-1, and then he goes at Tampa and he goes up to 5. All right. That's probably the one I like second best after the Boston game. Houston and Toronto, Mike Burrows. Toronto 148, 8.5. Mike Burrows 5.88 against Yashevich, who's now a 3.76, who was a 2.5. He's really pigged it out lately. Burrows, win some, lose some. I don't know what happened last game. He pitched to Cleveland. They win 9-3. He goes 1 inning, gives up 1 hit and 7 pitches, and that's it. But he's not a bullpen guy. Normally he goes 90 pitches. So let's go the last 6 before then. 5 innings, 7 runs, 6 innings, 4 runs, 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 6 runs, 5 innings, 5 runs. So had he gone more than 1, he'd have given up a bunch of runs. And Yashevich for Toronto from Pittsfield, Pennsylvania. And his last 6 innings shutout, 6 innings, 5, 5 innings, 1, 5 innings, 6, 5 innings, 5, 7 innings, 3. All right. So I'm finding some games, and there's so many games you're going to find some. We apparently have a double header, the Cubs and the Mets. I gave you the first one was at 110, Assad against McLean. But now we get a second one. We got a 7th. I hate this day-night. It really fucks up the players because you get to the ballpark at 10 o'clock, you do your batting practice, your fielding, you play a game at 1:10. The game's over like, let's say 3:30. And what are they going to do from 3:30 to 7:10? They're not going home. So what are they sleeping at the bar? I mean, this is so stupid. Just play the second game. They're already warmed up. Well, we got to get ticket sales. Believe me, if you had a regular doubleheader, you'd get more tickets than what you're doing. And it's not all about that. It's also for your players. The Mets minus 110, 8.5, but the Cubs are minus 106. This line's ridiculous. Amanda Gega, what's he pitch every day now? 4.29 against Manea, 3.27. Amanda Gega, well, we'll have to restart him. I don't think I like to play the second game of the doubleheader till I know about the first game. Amanda Omega from Japan and Mr. Fuji guy. He lost 4 in a row, lost 1, so he's 2-5. Not gonna waste. It must have been rained out because I know he just pitched over the weekend. 4 innings, 8 runs, 6 innings, 7 runs, 5 innings, 5 runs, 6 innings, 6 runs, and then 5 innings shutout, 5 innings, 1 run, both against Colorado. So we just had this story, and this must be the rainout game against Sean Manea. And where's his logs? All right, he's 2-4 his last 6. 3 innings, 1 run, 3 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 1 run, 4 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs. I don't know. Again, I don't like to get into it because we don't know what's going to happen in the first game. Somebody gets hurt. You use up your good bullpen. You can't use them the second game. So I'm going to lay away. This might have been a Mets play, maybe, but I don't know. Milwaukee against Cincinnati. Milwaukee minus 128, 9.5. We got Dronin against Louder. Normally these teams hit, but they didn't hit yesterday. That was one of my losers. So I lost with my over teams, Pitt over 8.5 and Milwaukee over 9.5. And they didn't hit. Very frustrating. No streak for Dronin. It was last 6. 2 runs, shutout, 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, 1 run. The shutout was a 2-inning. 4 inning, 2 runs, 5 innings, 4 runs, 5 innings, 1 run. And he goes, well, the 2 innings, he was 27 pitches. His last 4 was 68, 83, 78, 91. So he's not that good. This is his first year. So he's been in 15 games, started 5, and a 3.4 ERA. So he's a 3.4, 5-inning guy. 5.09 ERA. Their favorite, Louder. Now, normally Cincinnati can hit, but you got to keep up with the box score to see, did somebody get hurt? He's not playing. Louder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 1-5 his last 6, and he is a starter. Louder, 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 inning, 8 runs. Jesus Christ. 52 pitches in an inning and a third, 8 runs. 3 innings, 3 runs, 3 innings shutout, 5 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 4. So Milwaukee should hit the shit out of this guy, but Dronin, what are we doing with Dronin? Yeah, he gives up runs in 4 or 5 innings. All right. Two bad pitchers, so I can't really bet the pitcher. And so with 2 bad pitchers, you got to go totals. The Dodgers, Minnesota, Shotani against Ryan. This is a great game. The Dodgers are only 171 favorite. The game's in Minnesota. Shotani against Ryan. Shotani's up to a 1.48 ERA. He was like under 1 in his last couple of games. He did. Shotani. It's hard to get a beat on him because the logs they give you are more hitting logs, right? At bats. I don't get a pitching log, and so he's 12-12, 1.47 ERA. So this doesn't help you. Where the fuck's his pitching logs? The last 3 games, he got a 3.38 ERA. So we can't get any read on Ohtani because they don't give us the breakout. Joe Ryan, excellent pitcher for Minnesota. He's 5-1 his last 6. Let's see. He's gone 6 innings, 1 run, 7 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 4 runs, 6 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 3 runs, 5 innings, shutout. The 4 runs came against the White Sox, and the 3 runs came against St. Louis. Otherwise, it's been nothing. So the game's in Minnesota. The total's 8. Okay, so let's see what Shotani does. Again, LA can hit at home. It's not, they got a small ballpark. In Minnesota is a little different. This is 1965 World Series, was the Dodgers against Minnesota. Minnesota made the World Series a couple times in the 60s. They had Tony Oliva, Harmon Killebrew. Carew didn't come into like 68. And they played this game at Sandy Koufax threw a complete game shutout in Game 7 to win it, but it did go 7 games. And there was a game, I think it was in 59 or 60. They played it at the Coliseum, like the USC Coliseum, and they had a fence going around the left field line. It was funny because the way the field was shaped, they it's sort of like the 49ers when they played at Candlestick Park, and they brought the stands in, and then one part of the end zone was tarped off. And that's how this was like, it was way away. So they put a fence, a regular metal fence in left field. It was funny. Frank Howard played on the Dodgers then. Then he went to Washington. All right. So the Dodgers, okay. Pretty good play here. Arizona goes to St. Louis. Brad against Liberatore. Liberatore 114-9. I'm getting confused because I just thought Liberatore played a couple days ago, and now he's pitching again. Like, wait a minute. This guy's got nothing. All right. So Michael Bratt is 23 years old. Nothing. I got nothing. He's a lefty. Liberatore from Arizona. Game logs. Here we go. Last 6. 4 innings, 4 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs, 5 innings shutout, 4 innings, 5 runs, 4 innings, 5 runs, 1 1/3, 7 runs. But he's a regular starter, 80, 90, 100 pitches. His last game, 1 2/3, and he that might be why he's pitching in 2/3. 48 pitches, gives up 7 hits and 7 runs. They lost to KC 14-6, so maybe that's why he's back. What do you do with this? So we don't. The problem is we don't know Brad. He's never pitched. Now I would think if he's the next Nolan Ryan, we would have seen him out there already, but we haven't. Liberatore. So you got to watch this game. This is a pass because we don't have any data on Brad. So do we think he stinks because he hasn't pitched? Maybe he was injured, or maybe he was a superstar and they had him in the minors and calling up. Anyway, we'll find out, and we much rather bet on data than non-data. Atlanta and San Diego. Martin Perez, 2.95. This is the guy that beat Mizorowski against Sears with a 0 ERA. Atlanta's 114, 8.5. It's going to be hard to bet against Perez from Venezuela. He was on the oil platform, and then he threw the oil, so he got his arm going well. He's won his last 4, including Milwaukee 3-2, beating Mizorowski. His last 6. 5 innings, 4 runs, 5 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs, 5 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, 1 run. So it's going to be hard to not take Mizorowski. JP Sears, I have heard of. No games played this season. So we look at last year at a 5 ERA for Oakland and a 5 ERA for San Diego, 24 for Oakland, a 4. This guy's a pig. All right. So let me give you a second free play. We'll give you Atlanta. Anybody that beats Mizorowski, I'm going to have a hard time not betting on. So Boston, we got Ranger, and then here we're going to go with Martin Perez because he's not on the oil well from Venezuela anymore. So, and Sears seems to suck. It's his first pitching, so we'll go with Atlanta. And our last game, Oakland against the 49ers. Oakland's favorite 108.8. We got Jump with the 2.40. Jin is the guy who almost threw the no-hitter into the ninth was Jin, not Jump. Gage Jump from California. What kind of name? Gage? I guess if your last name's Jump, maybe, what's the first name? How High? How High Jump? They've won the last 4. He's only pitched 5 games. 5 innings, 4 runs, 7 innings, 1, 6 innings, shutout, 5 innings, 3, 7 innings, shutout. He's won 107. They shut out California 5-0. Beats Colorado 6-4. Beats Houston 5-0. Beats the Cubbies 2-1. And Seattle, they lose 4-1. He does play. Well, he had that one game against Colorado at home. Oakland. Okay, so it's a smaller one. This is at the 49ers. And you go against Tyler Mahle. And Tyler's lost 5 out of his last 6. And let's go. He goes 5 innings. You did have a 7-inning shutout once. 5 innings, 5 runs, 5 innings shutout, 5 innings, 4 runs, 5 innings, 5 runs, 5 innings, 6 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs. So Mahle is not a guy. He's got a 6.11 ERA. Kind of makes sense. We'll jump with the 5 games. All right. So he gave up 4 and he gave up 3. We really don't have enough on jump. The game is at the 49ers. We went over yesterday 9, I think, or 7. I'm not sure. It looks like it could be a 7 or a 9. Didn't matter. It was like a 2-1 game. Oakland's going to hit this guy. And what does jump do? The Niners. Okay. Hard to just really we don't have enough information on jump. He's pitched in 5 games, a total of 8. This Mahle will probably give up 8 by himself, I would think. Okay, so that's it. So free play. Rangers score taking Boston 3 units, Atlanta 3 units, free plays. I don't have to email this now because we're not playing the 1:00 game. 2, 4, 6, 8. I found 9 games and I couldn't find shit at all. Let's check our gold so we don't have a lot of stress. Because it's stressing me when I see it go under 4,000. 4,004 and 59 on silver. To see silver under 60, it's a joke. It's extremely limited. There's only 1 million tons in the world. And this thing should be it should be 500 by now in the physical world. So we'll get to this in a minute. Let me email this and then we will get into this whole thing. Travel to Africa with Turkish Airlines round trip from 909. I want to go to that one country, Burkina Faso, and meet the general. All right, so just 1 second. We did cover week one in NFL yesterday. I'll quickly review that. All right, just a second. Sorry. My IT guy can't figure out the baseball, so we'll do it. But football's all set, so we won't have to worry about doing that for football. We just haven't done baseball in a while. All right. So we'll quickly look at NFL week one, and then we're going to get into problem solving comex. So we'll just quickly run through it. Seattle 3.5, 44.5 over New England in Seattle. New England with a 9 defense and Seattle with a 17 defense. Looks like a low scoring game. The Niners and the Rams go to Australia for some strange reason. The Rams are 3 and 48.5, and Myles Garrett's there now. Frisco with the 24 defense, the Rams with the 26 obviously is much better with Garrett and if Aaron Donald shows up. And that's why LA lost. They had the 26 defense, couldn't handle Seattle. And the Niners with the 24 defense had a lot of injuries, so we'll see. Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Cincinnati 3.5, 50.5. Tampa Bay with the 23 defense and Cincinnati with the 24. We would expect a high scoring game with Burrow and Chase. We always expect a high scoring game with Burrow and Chase. New Orleans at Detroit 7, 48.5. New Orleans with an 18 defense and Detroit with the 28 defense. And there you go. Very live dog, New Orleans. And probably a very over game also. But Detroit, they have another new offensive coordinator who got from Arizona, and they got 15 points a game. So not really sure how they go through their method of choosing coordinators. Not really good. The Jets go to Tennessee 3, 39.5. The Jets with the 38 defense and Tennessee with the 30. And it's ironic because they have a defensive coach, right? This was the defensive coordinator of the Lions, although they had 38 defenses or 30 defenses when he was there. So it's not like he's a good defensive coordinator. And he's certainly not a good coach. So anyway, So the Jets. So the Jets are the worst team. They're a Z team. 11 points a game and give up 38. Baltimore at Indy. Baltimore 3.5, 49.5. Baltimore with a 21 defense. Indy with a 30 defense, and that's always what stops teams like Indy, Jacksonville is the weak defenses. And that's what you notice. So Lamar should have a pretty good game against this weak defense, but I think Indy will have a good game also. Atlanta, Pitt 3, 42.5. We got Atlanta with the 25 defense, Pitt with the 21 defense. Probably a pretty close game there if it's Penix and Rodgers. Chicago at Carolina. Chicago 3, 44.5. Both teams with the 22 defense. The Bears will just run it down their throat, I feel. Carolina, Steve Young's terrible. Cleveland, Jacksonville. Jacksonville 7.5, 46.5, I believe. Cleveland a 22 defense, Jacksonville a 17 defense. I'm a little shocked by the Jacksonville defense at 17. And Cleveland with the 22, even with Myles Garrett. So without him, they're going to be 24, 25 at least. And they can't score. And I don't know, Deshaun Watson hasn't played in 5 years. So we'll see. Jacksonville with a good offense last year. So we'll see. They're the much better team, Jacksonville, especially at home. Buffalo goes to Houston. Buffalo 1.5 point favorite, 45.5. Buffalo with a 19 defense, Houston with an 18, which I believe is the best defense in the league. Even though there's Minnesota 10 and New England with a 9, I still like Houston's defense. And so you would think could be a pretty low scoring game, except for Josh Allen, but they're going to be all over him. He's not going to have a lot of time to throw. Miami at Oakland. Oakland 3, 41.5. Miami with a terrible defense and no offense, 28. They'll probably be one of the worst teams in the league. Oakland, a 25 defense and a 12 offense. They're also one of the worst teams in the league. Mendoza, yeah, okay. What's he going to do? He's not. This isn't the Big Ten. And he sucked against Penn State and Ohio State anyway, so we'll see. Green Bay goes to Minnesota. I don't know why Green Bay is favored by 1.5, 44.5 total. Green Bay with the 27 defense without Micah Parsons. Minnesota with the 10 defense and Justin Jefferson. So with Kyler Murray, look for Minnesota and Chicago in the Central. They have the best offense-defensive combination. Love against Murray and Green Bay. Now, if Micah Parsons plays, they're probably a 19 defense. Without him, they're a 27. That just shows you the value of Micah Parsons. Washington at Philly. Philly is 6 and 46.5. Washington a 26 defense. Philly with a 15. Will Daniels be available? We'll see. They're going to lose A.J. Brown. A lot more Barkley. So Philly probably just turns into an under team where they're just going to give the ball to Barkley a lot. Hurts can't do anything. Devontae Smith's nothing. They're not playing MAC schools, and they don't have New Mexico State on the schedule. Philadelphia, unfortunately. So there goes Devontae Smith. Yeah, I was really good when we played App State and New Mexico State and Vanderbilt before Dagia was there. Arizona, San Diego. San Diego 11.5. I don't know why. 45.5. Now I know why. Arizona 18 offense, 37 defense. No defense. San Diego 18 and 18. So Arizona with no defense drafts a running back in the first round, who's not even very good. Again, Notre Dame's good when they play Army, Navy, and Stanford, but when they played Texas A&M and Miami, he didn't do anything. And this is going to be Texas A&M and Miami in the pros. The San Diego defense a little harder than the Army and the Navy defense. So Arizona with the terrible defense, and San Diego with an 18. Now you can understand the 11.5 point spread. Dallas and the Giants. Dallas is favored 1.5, total 48.5. Dallas with the 34 defense. This is their problem. They get the reason they pick. What do you need Pickens for? You got Lamb, Pickens. Who's their running back? Dak, 2 interceptions a game. But the problem is there's no defense. You gave up Micah Parsons and you got nothing. Giants with a fairly good defense, 21. Dart, too many concussions. Not a really good quarterback. A good runner, not a good quarterback. And that's it. So Dallas, 34 defense, Giants 21. I think the Giants are a live dog here. And then Denver, KC. KC 342.5. We've got, I think that's Daria. We've got Denver with the 21 defense. And yeah, that was Daria. I said it where I hear that. But the problem is at 3 in the morning when she texts me, I hear that. So Denver, KC, the game of the week. KC 342.5. Denver with the 25 offense, 21 defense, and KC with the 12 offense without Mahomes and a 19 defense. So should be a very good game, very low scoring. So it's Daria's daughter's birthday today. So she sends me a picture and she's got purple hair. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna whatever. I suppose as long as you look like the Joker, then you're having a good day. So that's week 1 in pro football. But we're waiting on preseason. We're waiting on who's quarterbacking what, injuries. Is Geno Smith the starter for the Jets? Is Penix playing? Is Daniels playing? Things like that. So we really don't have it. Is Mendoza starting? It could be Kirk Cousins. I would start Kirk Cousins. I hate Kirk Cousins, but I don't want Mendoza week 1. He'll be in way over his head. I know Brady's tutoring him, but what does Brady know? He sucked his first year. All right, baseball. I gave you Boston and Atlanta are the 2 free picks. They're both 3-unit picks. And that's it. All right, so let's problem solve this deep dive into comex. So we start off with what is comex? Comex is a price setting thing put in 1974 because everybody was selling their dollars for gold because Nixon took the U.S. off of the gold standard. It says we're not backing our dollar by gold, which immediately made the dollar worthless. You have to understand the concept. The dollar only has value because you backed it by gold. So if I back this apple by gold, it gives the apple value. Without the gold, this has really, 69 cents of value. So all these other countries were selling their dollars to buy gold. And the gold price went up to $800 from 35, getting a real market. And then they were able to price it so people wouldn't get the gold, and they did it with options. So they do paper, gold, and silver to keep the price down. So they just print a lot of options and they short them, and it's a Ponzi scheme. And they short the dollar, they short the option of gold, and the price goes down. It's a Ponzi scheme, 100%. It only works if nobody asks for physical. Well, the game was being played between New York and London. New York would sell, London would buy. London would sell, New York would buy. Neither would ask for delivery of the gold. Why this was taken as because the GATT, no, because of the whatever you call it, the 1945 gold thing. I can't think of it right now. My mind's on football. Because of what they did, everybody was used to the dollar being backed by gold and their dollar backed by the US dollar. So it kept the currencies stable by having it tied to the dollar and the dollar being tied to gold. Well, when you took the gold off, the dollar is now worthless. So let's say you're France, your money's tied to the dollar, which is now being inflated. So France said, fuck you, I want gold. I want my gold. And everybody said selling their dollars for the gold. They make the gold thing. So first of all, why was that the value of, why was comex setting the price for gold when it's paper and they're diluting it? So why is that being allowed to happen? Why are these other countries going along with it? I'm not triggering to the dollar anymore because the dollar is not backed by gold. Why would I'll use my own money. So then you ended up going to the petrodollar, where you're basically saying if you want to buy oil from the Middle East, you got to use US dollars. I don't understand that at all. Why? Who cares? I would have said if I was Saudi Arabia, I want gold for the oil. I don't want dollar. I don't want worthless dollars. So it became the reserve currency, which is just bullshit. It just means you need that they value the dollar more than their own currency, except for the British pound and the euro are valued higher than the dollar for some reason, even though they're all bankrupt. And so in 1974, I don't know if it made sense. What the fuck is that? Just a second. Yeah. Hi. Just a second, everybody. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Okay.
So what's wrong with it?
Well, if you flush it, it like goes for like a minute, and I'm just worried that it'll it's going to get worse and worse. And if I have to go to the bathroom at 2 a.m, I don't want to hear the toilet go for 10 minutes. So I don't know if the seal's getting loose or worn or whatever. So I just want to get it before it starts being a problem.
Because that noise is because the time is in enough.
Yeah, but it's a long time. Usually it's like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. What I'm worried about is that took like almost a minute, 2 minutes. I'm worried that it's going to get worse and then it's going to be 10 minutes. Because I've had that with toilets before, so I'm just trying to nip it in the butt before. That's a pretty long time to like turn it off or refill it or whatever. That's all. I'm just being proactive. Is there like a seal that's getting loose or worn or something?
No, all the toilets what's happening.
Yeah, but not that long. It's usually like 20 seconds or so.
I'm in a normal, if I'm in my friend's toilet, it's 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and it fills up and stops. So I'm concerned how long it's taking, and if we can prevent an issue. And I'm not arguing about the noise, I'm arguing about the time it takes to turn the noise off. It's taking a long time. And I don't want it to get 2 in the morning, I go to the bathroom and it's on for 10 minutes. Then I can't get back to sleep. That's really what I'm worried about, but this is a long time to turn off.
Looks it's working, but it comes to me. I can show you different units and don't take the same time, to be honest, because, when this thing, when the fuel valve is broken,
Yeah.
when the fuel valve is broken, you smell the noise, but the water, doesn't go up,
So what I'm worried about is that this takes longer. If you're saying you don't see like the seal on the bottom or anything,
No, it was a seal on the bottom, it's not leaking.
so if it's working, it just is taking a little bit longer to turn off. If it's not gonna get worse, then okay. And I don't want it to go 5 minutes.
No, if this thing taking on a modern, because right now it's taking less than a minute to start. If this, when it's broken, you can hear it, you can hear it, this noise. But usually, when the fuel valve is broken, take maybe like 4 or 5 minutes. So
That I'm trying to prevent. In other words, I know it's not broken yet. It seems to be taking longer and longer, and then I'm going, well, wait a minute, I don't want to get to the 5-minute mark where we need it done right away. So that, if everything looks fine and it's just taking a minute or so.
It's taking less than a minute, so it's not broken.
Well, sometimes it takes longer. I think, depending on what I do in the toilet, sometimes it takes like 2 minutes to turn off, and that's why I'm calling. Because if I just pee in the tub, it's like you're doing, but if it's something else, it does take a little bit longer. But I just don't want it to get to the point where it's broken and, we could fix it now, but if you don't see any problem with it, you don't see the seal or that, that's just the way the toilet is, then that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to note it, and then, like I said, I wanted to catch it in front. But if you don't see a problem,
To be honest, I don't see it.
no, that's fine. But if I don't want it to get to 5 minutes.
No. So you could, this thing wrong because it's broken, so the water can take a lot of time. Sometimes, doesn't mean figure out,
Yeah.
when this thing is broken.
Because I've had it where, like, the seal breaks, and they put in a new seal for me and stuff like that. But if you don't see that being a problem and it fills, that's fine. I'm just being proactive. I know a lot of I see something happening, I want to get it before it happens.
Yeah.
So that's fine. If there's nothing that you see, and it won't get worse. So if I go at 2 in the morning, go to the bathroom, and it won't stay for long.
So
See, that seems like a long time to me. Because mostly it's like 20, 30 seconds, they flush, boom, it comes up. So that seems like a long time to me. So.
no,
Oh, so went to 12:12, but we didn't know what the seconds were. But yeah, I mean, it seems like a long time to turn up. Just because I go to the bathroom all the time in different places. And usually it's flush and then do it and then
No, there's a, you know,
30 seconds or so.
yeah, so depends what the brand they told you, you know, so depends, yeah, it's all the time on the place. Yeah, man.
About this noted, and then I don't know what to look for, but if it starts going 5 minutes, then we got a problem because that's too long, especially at night. We don't want it to go that long. So you can see that's a long time, I think, from a toilet. Now maybe this is an older toilet.
No, they use it's not brand new, you know, but they replace all the toilets in the whole property, they replace the toilet maybe like 2 years ago.
I don't know if that's good, bad, or ugly. All I'm saying is it just seems like a long time to turn off from what going to a men's room or going to my friend's houses. It's 30 seconds or so. So we're getting over a minute. So it becomes I don't want it to get to 5 minutes. It's a minute or so, or a minute and a half. And it seems like a long time till it lets up. Again, I'm worried at night. 2 in the morning you go, and then you go back to bed, you're hearing it go, go, go.
I'm gonna replace it, you know, it's going to happen, but it's not gonna get one.
Well, I just, I'm going by what I'm used to, and it seems like a long
Yeah,
time.
everything also, so painful, okay.
Well, I don't know, I don't rate toilets, I'm not a plumber, but all I can say is, it seems like a long time.
It's like a very, very old toilet, you know,
Yeah.
you know, the oven's not very, a few minutes, you know? But yeah, so I want to go to
I thank you, I appreciate that.
the other thing, I have in my work order about clean vents,
Yeah,
but
do you have like a feather duster we can do it? Because those vents are real dirty. And when the air conditioning comes on, I just don't want to breathe in that dirt. So if we can clean it, or just, if you have a feather duster, just feather it. I was gonna go to like Myers or somewhere and go buy one. But you can just clean that because that's really dirty, if that's something that you would normally do.
but yeah, I don't even, you know, this, just make it happen. But if I can that then, those would make it no difference. You know why? Because all the dog inside is dirty, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that they don't clean it. A few people they request, and they don't clean.
I mean, I like,
Yeah, so
I asked if you guys clean it, otherwise I'd bring in a maid. They said, no, you guys.
No, because you understand? So from here, you know, dog coming over here and go and there and go there, right?
Right.
So and so
Well, it's just like dusting, it's like dusting
it's
the
not
furniture, dusting the tables. You don't want to leave the dirt all around and the dust, and then you get sick because you're breathing in dirt. So that's all I'm concerned about. My kids come over, I don't want them breathing in the dirt and everything.
So yeah, so if I use the that thing, let's say something. I am very honest with you. That doesn't make any difference.
Well, I can vacuum the carpet
Because
when the dirt goes down.
inside of the dog,
Yeah.
all part is dirty, And it's like,
Well, then what do we do with it? I mean, we don't want to breathe in all the dirt, right?
okay, I'll be back, okay?
Okay, no problem. I'll be here. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, sorry about that. That was the maintenance guy, and as long as I got him, I'm going to use him. All right, so we're talking about the start of comex. So the government, the U.S. takes us off of it. It's Bretton Woods. That's what I was thinking of. So Bretton Woods comes, and they back the dollar by gold and all the other currencies to the dollar, and that's what happens. So we start printing the money too much. LBJ and his entitlements and the Vietnam War, they can't afford it. What they should have done was raise the price of gold from $35 to 500 or 1,000, and then they could have printed more money for the war, but they didn't. I don't know why they don't just raise the value of gold. They're always afraid to raise the value of gold. So that's in 74, and then we've been on COMEX since 74. Well, a lot has changed. And now the Ponzi scheme is where they would run an option. So these are all options and derivatives, which means they're options. And so the option would be, I'm going to try to have the market. I'm not going to use the market to set the price of gold, which is what we do, right? There's a phone, the market sets it. I'm going to sell this for $200. Do I buy it or not? And that's the point. So you're trying to set the price of gold. That's why we use the market for everything. How much for the apple? I'm going to write it at $1.29. Okay. And then somebody bought it. Oh, okay. That's the market for apples, $1.29. I marked it $2.50. Nobody would buy it. All right, that's too expensive. That's why I show you this with the barbecue, right? You can sell the ribs for $30, but you can't sell them for $45. There's no buyer at $45. There's no buyer for the $35,000 Camry that should be $25,000. So with that understood, we're not using the market to set the physical price of gold and silver. We are using, we're not using the market. We're using this bullshit option price where they're shorting it and going like today, oh, gold's down, silver's down. Not in the market, only in this price fixing COMEX. So in 1974 it worked, but now why are we using it? And all it does is allow BRICS, Russia, China, India, to buy this gold and silver at these cheap prices. Now you think the US would be smart enough to buy it. So when you see the price drop, it's not the market dropping it. It's not I'm paying $2 for the apple. It's the option pushing the price of the apple to 30 cents. You're leaving the market off. The market's not included in this. This is just options. And the COMEX Ponzi scheme only works as long as people don't ask for physical. So I'm going to sell the option and London buys the option and they just settle it in cash. They never settle it in gold. There's only 200,000 tons of gold. That's it. So once they run out, COMEX should be blowing up because how are they doing options if there's no gold available to do it with? You've got to have the physical to run COMEX. So the options are happening. The price is going down. But in the market, the demand is strong. Everybody wants apples. This should be $4, but it's still sitting at 39 cents. Now, COMEX only exists until everybody asks for the physical. And there's only 200,000 tons available, but we know China's got 80,000 of them. So that gives you 120. And with Russia and India and Dubai and Saudi Arabia and the rest of BRICS, as well as I'm sure Germany and Italy have gold, that there's probably only maybe 10,000 tons left. Let's say it's 190 of the 200,000 tons are gone. And that's it. So if they're gone, what are you going to do with it? So because they're gone, this COMEX can't keep going without having the physical to do the options with. So they're just using options with gold with gold that isn't there. There's 4,300,000 tons of gold. There's only 200,000 physical, of which BRICS owns, let's say, 190 of them. There's not anything left. COMEX must go away because it only works if nobody asks for physical. And that's what's been going on since 74. It's been option to option, and we won't ask for physical. But now China started in about 2015 or so, or after the 2008 collapse of the housing market. They call it a financial crisis. It was a housing market crisis caused by Jimmy Clinton saying everybody should own a house, even if they don't work and they don't have any money. Let's give them a house. What the fuck was that all about? So with that, you have this paper Ponzi scheme of options that only works until people ask for the physical delivery. And that's where we're at now. It's mostly gone. There's, I checked yesterday, there's 2,900 tons left of physical gold in COMEX. 2,900 tons out of 220,000 tons. 2,900, that's it. So it's basically collapsed. They are still playing these option games, but it's totally ridiculous, illegal, and everything else, because how can I short something that doesn't exist? In other words, there's no physical gold. How can you run an option on it? And China buys them. So as the US JP Morgan sells, or this Jane Street, whoever the fuck's doing it, as they sell it, China comes in and buys it and says, I'll buy it and I want physical. And in the rules of COMEX, you have to deliver the physical and you have to do it in a day. And they're not abiding by the rules. So what you're seeing is a mirage now. You're seeing gold and silver go down. It's options. It's not physical. And we all get worried, oh, it's 59 and gold at 4,000. Now let's think third, fifth dimensionally here. Let's go fifth dimension, not third. What's happening? Well, why do you keep the price down? One, because you want people to get out of gold and go into stocks. So the banks want your commission. Two, you want to be able to buy it cheaper. So Russia and China are going, great, we'll keep buying and buying and buying. And you're keeping that price at 4,000 for us. Thank you very much. So I can buy it for 4,000 instead of 5,000. And everybody was buying at 5,000. So number two is it's a steal because the price is so cheap. So on one hand, it's to get people to get out of gold into the stock market. The other is the buyers can buy it cheap. And you're really not making money on the options. I don't know. It's very risky option play. You usually lose. So let's say, okay, the option players are there and they are taking the gold. They're taking the gold and the silver and knocking it down. So how much are you really making in options is, I guess, the question I'm trying to ask. And that's the point. So these guys are playing options to make money. Okay, so maybe that's number three. But why are you keeping the price down? Because China and Russia have it all, and you're at war with everybody in BRICS, and you want the gold price to go down because they're all on the gold standard and you're not. And we don't have any gold, so we don't want a high price, because the higher the price, the richer China and Russia get. Okay, maybe. So this is a very there's three or four options here of why they're keeping the gold price down. We know one thing: this is not the market. This is not an Apple. We're going to market at $3. People will buy it at $3. The Toyota 25,000. We'll keep it at 25. We'll try selling it 30. This is kind of reverse. We're keeping the price of gold artificially. So it's great for the buyers, and it will blow up because you can't stick with COMEX. If there's no physical gold, you can't stick with it. And how much physical fist at this low price of 4,000, they're just laughing. They can print money and they get all these US dollars. So all they're doing is taking the dollars they got from the treasuries, selling them and buying gold. Saudi Arabia and a petrodollar, where you buy oil in US dollars, well, they're not giving the dollars back. They're buying gold with them. and then they're putting some money into the stock market. There's no demand for the treasuries, so we know the dollar's worthless. The dollar's gone. Busy morning. And let's see. All right, we're 4,014 on gold, 58.74 on silver. Silver, we're not worried about. Gold, we're a little more worried about it because I need to sell an ounce. But these are buyers. They're keeping the price down so you can buy. They're keeping the price down so you go buy stocks. Oh, I'm going to buy SpaceX or AI, and I can make money there. Now, the capper and the most important thing is the money's worthless. They printed the money to death, over $100 trillion. It's worthless. The value has gone from $100 bill from $100 to $1. If you make 100,000, you're really making $1,000. And so, but that's what they don't tell you. And that's the underlining why we buy the gold. So comex is there to kind of keep you into the stock market because that's where the JP Morgans make all the commission off of you. They can tax you. They can't tax you in gold. They don't know you have it. You bought gold at 300 an ounce and now it's 4,000. There's no tax you pay on it. You don't pay tax because it went up. You're supposed to pay a capital gains tax, but that's only if you sell 22 ounces of gold. Is there a capital gain? Is a 1099 going to be issued? Without a 1099, you sell an ounce. What are you going to do? Pay a capital gains tax on a couple thousand? So you're really not doing that. So what we have is capital gains. We got the capital gains. So what we have is the dollar being worthless. And so you're left with two choices. Yeah, I can put my money in the stock market and I make dollars, but the dollar's worthless, so I don't make anything. I'll put it in Bitcoin. That went up. Wait a minute. It just was 120. It's now 61. I just lost 60,000. Or does nobody care? Well, it's still going to go up to 100. Okay, then why did it go from 120 to 60? If it's really a good asset, why did it go down to 60? Why did it crash? We know why gold's going down because these idiots are doing options and they're shorting it, pushing the price down. Not from free market, because in a market, if the apple's $4, if there's no demand for it, I got to put it on sale. That's why you see all these sales at the grocery store, right? You see all these sales, Coke, buy one, get one free, or buy two for $5 because nobody's buying. There's no demand. So there's no demand for the dollar. It's losing its value. Is there no demand for gold? Yes, there is. BRICS is buying it, Russia, China. So everybody's buying gold. There's demand. Why is the price falling? It's the paper price is falling, not the physical. And, I heard, are we buying? We're not buying gold to make money. Well, that's bullshit. We are buying gold, because the dollar's going to zero, to save our money, and B, to make money because it's been suppressed. And the real value of the gold, at 4,000 should be about 20,000. So yes, we are buying it to make money because it's been suppressed. All we're asking for it is to get to its real price, and we will make a fortune on going up to the real price. But yes, we're buying gold first and foremost to save our ass from the dollar that's going down in value and worthless. So it's as simple as that. The dollar's worthless, going down. Gold is huge demand, as Pat says in Singapore. You're waiting 8 hours in line at a store to buy gold, if they even have any. And that's the whole gold district, which is 50, 100 stores. I'm not sure how many, a lot. It's a whole gold district. And therefore people the demand strong, so the price should go up in a normal market. The higher the demand, the higher the price, especially when it's limited. You can't print gold. You can only dig it out of the ground. So there's no inflation in gold, which means when you inflate the dollar, the price of the value of the dollar goes down. And then theoretically, it takes more dollars to buy goods and services, but that's not always true. It only works if you're willing to pay more for it. So you can't just mark the stake $20. If you don't want to buy it, you're not going to buy it. So how long will COMEX be pricing gold is the question. Why is it still pricing gold? This ain't 1974. This was set up to price fix, which is total bullshit. But again, that's 1974. We're in 2026. We don't need the gold price fix. Well, this way we buy the stock market. Okay, so you think everybody in America, the government thinks everybody in America is in the stock market and in Bitcoin, and nobody's in gold. Why are you keeping the price of gold down? They're not making a lot of money doing these options, which are totally illegal. So then you have, because there's no physical gold to back them. So then you have what's really going on is, well, we want to keep the price down. So China and Russia have a lower price, lower value, maybe, but they're the ones buying it. So this is great for and bad for the seller. So if I wanted to buy more gold at 4,000, I'm skipping and jumping around the store going, thank you, God. But in this, with this, for this, if you're trying to sell, it's not valued right. And we don't care in the long run. COMEX will blow up, the dollar will blow up, and gold will be the only lifeboat available, gold and silver, and the price will go to the moon. So you will make a lot of money in gold and silver. Kind of. Why do I say that? Because there won't be dollars. Let's say gold hits 20,000 an ounce, which it will do. It'll hit 20,000, but is the dollar available? So do you still have the dollar? So at 20,000, do you still have the dollar? And if you do, then, but how do you sell it? The dollar is worthless. And they'll have to come out with a new dollar. Russia came out with their eighth ruble. That's the whole point. What is it that is the medium of exchange? Again, this is trade. You're trading this for apples and bananas and clothes and glasses and chains and clothes. This is just a trade. You get paid. They trade you. I'm a finance guy. Do my budget, and I'm going to trade you money for it. You get the money. You pay your mortgage. You pay your utilities and all that. And whatever you got left over, now what do you do with it? Do you invest it in Coca-Cola stock, in AI stock, in Bitcoin, baseball cards, or do you invest in gold and silver? So now I think what's happening, they're treating gold as a stock, not as money, not as a commodity. In other words, gold's bought because the dollar's worthless, not because it's a 200-day moving average, not because interest rates go up or down. All that's bullshit as far as gold's concerned. Gold is not, you're not buying it because interest rates will go up, because oil goes up, because the dollar's stronger or weaker versus these other currencies. You're not buying it for that. You're not buying it as a stock. You're buying protection to get out of the dollar because the dollar's worthless. That's why you're buying it, right? That's the first thing. It's the first reason you're buying it. But nobody understands that. Nobody will admit the dollar's worthless. This whole COMEX mechanism, they're treating it as a stock and 200-day moving averages, and the dollar's worth less than the than the euro. So therefore, we're going to short. Then gold's going to go down because the dollar is worth more than that because of the oil prices. The whole thing's ridiculous. Excuse me. The dollar cannot get stronger. Inflation's money printing. You printed $100 trillion. Therefore, the dollar has no value. So you go into gold because your dollar is worthless. Go to the grocery store, everything. I saw dark chocolates at $7 for dark chocolate now. A lot of that's because in Africa, the cocoa is limited. The supplies have been hurt. And so it's $7. It's crazy. I still go to Walmart. It's $4 for my dark chocolate. And this is the problem. You're dealing with idiots, basically. Nobody wants to admit the dollar's worthless. And the government, of course, won't tell you the dollar's worthless. What's the government say? Oh, no, still, inflation's 2%, which doesn't mean anything. Nobody understands what it is. And it's impossible for it to be 2%. Well, Coca-Cola was $3, is $3. So there's no inflation because we'll look at Coke year over year. Why aren't you looking at gas prices going from that? And even that's not inflation. That's a shortage in supply. Gold going up is demand going up. That's not inflation either. The inflation is because it takes more money to buy things. So what is the inflation? So, I guess my shirt going up is inflation, but even that's not going up. They can't sell it, so they lower the price. The market will control the prices when you let it, but for some reason, the only thing not following the market is gold and silver and gasoline. Those aren't following the market. Why? I mean, it's just they're making money, I guess, by keeping it in options. They make more money because they manipulate the options. Most people don't buy gold because they don't know anything about it. They don't know it's limited. They don't know it can't be inflated. And they don't know that the dollar is inflated. So me and you sit there and we're going, what the fuck? Gold's going down. It's 4,000. What's happening? And you don't really understand that the dollar's worthless, right? Because you're not taught that. So you don't realize the dollar has no value. It says 100 on it. So it's 100. But what they don't realize is the 100's not worth it. The 100's worth $1 now. Go fill your card up the grocery store. You fill it to the top, you're paying $500, not $25. And this is the key. So what comex is doing is not following the market. The comex is going down for option reasons, for stock reasons, but they're missing the whole point. It's the dollar that's collapsed, so it has no value. So you're going into gold because the Titanic's sinking, and you got to get to the safe harbor, the lifeboat, and gold and silver are the only lifeboats. That's why you get into gold and silver. What comex is doing makes no freaking difference. It makes no sense. They're shorting it, thinking it's a stock. Well, that's ridiculous. That it's not a stock. It's money. Gold and silver are money, not a stock. And they don't realize the dollar's collapsed. Everybody's running into the stock market. Stock market's worthless. Oh, I made $100,000. Well, okay, but it's in dollars, which is worth. So unless you turn it into gold, it's really worthless. Well, gold's 4,800 now. Just a second. You got a question? Oh, you're all set?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you need me for anything or?
No, just
Just a second.
Same.
Yeah, but at least we're not gonna get it worn out and it's not gonna sink for 10 minutes. Perfect, much better, much better. Thank you so much. And you did the vents?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have a great day, and I appreciate it. Okay, enjoy. Thank you. Well, that was good. All right, so he did my toilet. My toilet runs when you do it for a couple minutes. Oh, we're 4018. We're holding up. Anyway, that's what we're doing. So everybody's missing the point. Why is comex dropping? It doesn't make sense. First of all, we know it's not physical gold because they're doing 4 million. They got 4 million tons of paper gold and 200,000 tons of physical. So what are you're doing? You're playing games with 4 million fake paper tons of gold that don't exist. That can't happen. That certainly shouldn't happen. That's a bunch of bullshit. So that's what we have. And so we sit there and everybody gets nervous. Gold's going down to 4,000 from 5,000. Is it going to go to zero? Is it going to do this? Well, it can't go to zero because we're living in the physical world. The paper might go to zero, but even that doesn't make any sense. If it's a real option, the value or the price of gold should be going to the moon because it has to, because it's worth a lot more, right? So gold's worth, because it's not, you're comparing it to dollars. So they keep printing dollars, right? They have this debt. You got $40 trillion in debt. How can the dollar be have any value at all? All what happens with countries is they all go bankrupt because they print their money until they lose all their value. So your option is to stay in money, which has no value, or to go into something with value, which is gold and silver. So to worry about comex, you really can't. It's all bullshit, right? It's not, gold's really worth 4,000, not the physical. The physical is worth 6,000 or 7,000, and the silver is worth 500, 600 or 1,000. But you're not seeing it. It's all hidden. The real values of gold and silver are being hidden. Just like oil. Oil is 150 a barrel, but yet you see it at 70. And that's just bullshit. That's just them printing money. Well, to print the money, they make the money worth nothing. So the money's not worth anything either. So that's really what's happening. The gold itself can't lose value. And so the price going on is not for physical, it's for paper, which is why I always differentiate the paper gold price from the physical gold price. I do apologize that the handyman, the maintenance man came in and he fixed the toilet and he did my vents. So I apologize for that, but I had to let him in and I wanted him to come when I was here. So I'm glad he came when I was here. Again, I'll have to park better where I'm not 6 inches over on the other lane. Oh my God, what a thing to worry about. I do want to go buy Gray Sports Almanac today. I think I'll get it on the way to swim. We'll take care of that. Outside of that, I should be good with rent and everything as I'm running out of Monopoly money, So I pay this for, I don't know, birthday, like it's Daria's daughter's birthday. So I sent her, I PayPal her some cash. And so that's where I use my cash, mostly on PayPal stuff. And anyway, so keep in mind that comex is paper gold, of which they don't have. The real demand for physical gold that BRICS and China and Russia have forced the price to go higher, but we don't see that price. And the Shanghai gold, the Shanghai physical price is bullshit. It's not the real physical price yet. They're still looking at comex to deliver the price to get to the physical price. Physical price is much more. It's easily 10,000, and the physical silver price is even 1,000. However, we can't get to that because COMEX keeps interfering with that physical price. There needs to be two exchanges, physical price exchange and this option price. But for some reason, the option COMEX is set up as the price for physical gold and silver, which is ridiculous. Why is there no physical exchange, a real one, 4 million ton price instead of the 200,000 ton price? And that's really the problem. So COMEX drops, and the guy go to the gold store, and he's going, "Oh, well, okay, it's 4,000, which is a paper price." So it's to buy it. You're buying it way, way, way undervalued. Silver 59 is a joke, but gold, when you sell it, you're also getting hurt on it. It's not the real price. That's why you're really not profit taking. You're not doing this to profit take. You're not doing this to make money. You're doing this to save your wealth from losing money. You're going to lose, even if you make 100 grand in gold, right? You bought a ton and it went up and you made, $100,000. You don't want the dollars because they're not worth it. This is the key. These have no value. This is the most important part of the lesson. This has no value. That's why it looks like this, because they keep printing it. And the more they print, the less value it has. But gold and silver have value, and that's the key. And you must understand that. Gold and silver have the value. And that's where you're at. So just keep that in mind. That's the key to it. And that's why you're in gold and silver. So you almost really, as Egon says, I don't really look at the price of COMEX. The only reason I care is because I'm trying to sell an ounce to replenish some cash, and I'd rather get 5,000 than 4,000. In the long run, does it really matter if I get 4,300 instead of 4,700, $400? No. My income is the gold and silver going up. So silver at 25 to silver at 75, I made quite a bit of money. That's my income, right? Is the gold and silver is my income. It's my life insurance. It's my retirement, all rolled into one. And so, of course, you get a little nervous when the price drops when you're all into gold and silver, but there's really no other choice. Yeah, I show you the Mantle card. Yeah, I show you the Willie Mays card and the Montana and the Brady's. Yeah, I have that. That's also assets. But you don't really want to be in cash because it has really no value. And that's, I think, the biggest key to it. It has no value. You don't want to be in it. And once you understand that, then that's the whole game. So it doesn't matter what the interest rate is and what the Fed does and all this and the inflation rate. It doesn't matter. The dollar has no value. So it's all bullshit to keep you mind occupied here when over here it has no value. And that's the key, is it has no value and there's nothing they can do about it. And so you make money in the stock market, but you're making dollars which have no value. The only investment you can make is gold and silver. You can't buy Bitcoin. You can't buy stable coin. Digital is all a Ponzi scheme. And the gold and the stocks or bonds is the biggest jokes. Don't forget the $40 trillion debt, which everybody seems to just, well, it was 37 and nothing happened, and it was 38, nothing happened. So who cares if it's 40 or 50 or 100? And then you have all the government workers that you got to print money to pay, and then all the Social Security that you got to print money. It's funny how they say, well, it's going bankrupt by 2035. It's already bankrupt. You're just printing money out of thin air to pay my Social Security, which you owe me because I paid into the system, which you fucked around and spent it on drug deals and all this other crap you're doing. So that's COMEX. It's paper options. It's not real. It's not the real physical price of gold and silver. And for some reason, there is no physical price. And that's what China and Singapore and Russia and Shanghai and Hong Kong and Dubai are trying to get us, a physical price. That's where they're at. So we will see if that's what we get to, but that's where we're at. We're trying to get a physical price, but we know in our minds the that the 1 ounce we have is worth a hell of a lot more than 4,000, but we don't know what the real price is. Could be 8, could be 10, could be 12,000. Don't know, because for some reason they're using this option price to say, oh, that's the physical price, which is ridiculous. So that's problem solving comex. So I know we're a little anxious and we're watching it go down. Silver hit 59, gold hit 39 something, and it's back into the 4,000s. We understand that. And it's a little unnerving that it can be manipulated like this. But the question is why are they using this option price for physical? Where's the real physical price? Why isn't there a real physical price? This is the part that the problem is. And then the whole world uses this paper price, and then they short it. I honestly think most of the people are ignoring it now. And most of the people like China and Russia are selling theirs at 5,000 an ounce, not at 4,000 an ounce. And nobody's playing with comex because it's such an obvious price fix. So I think what'll happen is they'll actually come out with a physical price. And I think that'll be the difference. And then we'll get to 5 or 6, but it won't be comex. And they just won't play with comex. It's like Screwball. He wants to take his ball and go home. It's the 5th inning. That's all I can do. So anyway, I gave there is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 baseball picks. I gave 2 free ones. Boston, Ranger Suarez on the mound against Colorado, and Atlanta, Martin Perez, who beat whatchamacallit. Oh, come on. He beat the best pitcher in baseball, the guy in Milwaukee. I can't think of it. So those are your 2. Take Atlanta, take Boston, 3 units, bet the game straight. And that's it. So again, yesterday, 6-4 plus 5 units, 4-4 even on the 22nd, 6-4 plus 6 units on the 21st. Huge month of May, probably up over 100 units. June, the first week was tough, but then after that, we've been red hot. And, it depends how you're looking at it. If you're looking at streaks, you get your downs. I don't know how much longer comex will be around or how much longer it'll keep going down. I don't know how much Trump's into keeping the price down. If he's doing it for bricks, because everybody in the U.S. has 401ks and is in Bitcoin. Very few people are in gold. There's only our class, and there's others in gold, but that's it. So most people don't understand gold at all, and they don't understand the dollar being worthless. That's really the key. The dollar is worthless. Once you understand that, you have no choice. You have to get out of the dollar. That's why I got in the gold back in 2020. I knew with Biden and all this and all the COVID and the spending $5-6 trillion, I knew that was the end of it back then. Now it takes a while to finally unwind, but the dollar's worthless. So get that thought through your head, and you have no choice but to buy gold and silver, and you just really have to ignore comex. And you really don't want to sell, except for in my situation where I need to replenish the monopoly money so I can pay for birthday gifts and other gifts and stuff like that, where I do need cash. If I go to the casino, I play $300 poker. I need $300. And and the only way I'm going to get it is to sell an ounce of gold and get 4,000, hopefully 5,000, get that. And then I have cash in my saving. I can pull 300 out and go play poker. But otherwise I can't play poker because I don't have that much in my bank account, because I don't keep anything in the bank. And so that's really the difference. So, I don't that's another reason I want some money. I don't want to not play poker or not have money for a birthday gift, or if I need cash for certain things. I want to go buy silver, right? At this price, I would say it's a heavy buy right now. again, you only want physical Eagles and Maple Leafs, Cougarans, 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, tenth of an ounce, silver 1 ouncers, by your bullion and the Eagles, Maple Leafs, Cougarans, they're all good in silver. As long as they say 999 1 ounce, you're a happy camper. So that's what we want. So again, Comex is full of shit. It's paper, it's price manipulation. It goes against the market, which goes against the US, and it works until it doesn't. And it doesn't work when people are asking for the physical, and that's what's happening. So there's not very much, like I said, there's 2,900 tons in Comex of gold at this point, and that's it. And that goes out very quickly. Again, it's 32,000 ounces to a ton. So they'll say like 5 million, and I'm dividing by 32,000. Well, that's only 200 tons, which seems none. So it's winding down. And again, it's a great buying opportunity because there's still idiots using Comex as the pricing mechanism. But I wouldn't think it would keep going because I think there's too many buyers out there who are going, great, until there's no physical to buy, and then Comex blows up or they need a real price. I don't know what's going to happen July 5th, if there's going to be a revalue. We'll see. Again, that's done by the mafia. So whatever they want to do, they're going to do. And right now, everybody's being in dollars, which are worthless. And we name the Roman Empire, Dutch East India Company, Spanish, French, the Germans, the Zimbabwe's, the Venezuelas, Sri Lanka, Portugal, or not Portugal, Pakistan. They all went bankrupt. And that's really what happens. That's why the empire ends, is you print money mostly for wars. Wars end the empire because you're getting desperate. And as in Napoleon's case, he went to Russia to steal their oil and their natural resources. Hitler, what did he do? Went to Russia to steal their oil. That's when it's over, is you're trying to steal the other country's oil and they're not going to just let you steal it. And that's when you go out, because wars are very expensive. They're all expense. There's no revenue. And therefore, it's just a big dump of expense. And you go bankrupt because you can't afford war. You can't afford wars. Unless you pay for them in gold, you're fucked. So anyway, that's it. Again, I apologize for a couple of these stoppages, but I hope you realize and understand. Me, I get the maintenance guys here. I'm good. He's here, and because I don't want him coming in when I'm at swim. Who knows? And anyway, it's just better if I'm here. So have a great day, everybody. www.tzaking.com. Take Atlanta, take Boston in baseball. And our gold is at our gold's at 4,006 and our silver's 58.60. Yeah, these are alarming, but I feel good that gold's didn't go under 4,000. Well, it did for 5 minutes. It went to 39.80, but then quickly went over 4,000. And we'll see. It does tend to go up with China having it. I don't really understand why it's so low and it's not being bought up, except for most people are probably not in it. And they probably don't have gold to deliver. So people who would buy it to get it to delivered aren't playing anymore. They're just going to China and saying, what are you selling it for? Fine, we'll take it, because at least you have physical gold that we can get, because that's what everybody wants. So very soon, Comex will go away, and it'll be replaced with these China and Russia physical prices, which we'll have to convert from the yuan to the dollar, and it'll be much, much higher. I think it's 5,000 now. And silver is probably at least 100. But we know silver to 1,000, gold to 10,000, easy, minimum. And because once we work with the physical, And as more countries go bankrupt, the euro, the British pound, the Swiss franc, and they're all going to go bankrupt, all these that go to war, you're fighting Russia. The only reason Russia's not going bankrupt because they got gold. Putin's got a lot of gold in that swimming pool. And Xi doesn't want to go to war because he's got a lot of gold. The oil, we'll see how long that lasts. And anyway, so don't get too concerned. The key is that you own the physical and you do not sell it. I'm selling 1 ounce because I need monopoly. 5 or 10 ounces of gold to get back into the dollar to buy AI stocks. That's the dumbest thing you can do. Because even if you make the money in the AI, you're going to know when to sell it. And even if you do that, are you then going to take the money and buy gold and silver? Or you're going to stay in dollars? You're going to make $50,000 and you're going to keep it in dollars. And now you're fucked. So that's the key. So keep that in mind. You're fine in gold and silver. These are not real dollars. The real value of the physical gold and silver is much, much higher. And you can't inflate gold and silver. The demand is huge, as everybody, all the BRICS countries and us are buying the shit out of it. So it's not like there's no demand, and there's certainly no inflation. There's nobody's printing gold or silver. You couldn't anyway. So keep that in mind. www.teaserking.com. All right. Take care. The key is that you have the physical gold and silver and you got out of the dollar. The biggest thing you should be thinking is, I'm not in this anymore. I'm not in the dollar. I'm not in the euro. These are worthless. These are monopoly money. And if you understand that, you just go, oh, comex is down. That's fine. I know ours is worth a lot more than that. If I was in dollars, I'd be broke. So just understand that. And just go to the grocery store. Everything's more expensive. So anyway, take care. Have a good day. Enjoy. All right.